I'm Chemerinsky, the Dean of UCI Law School. I'm here for the next in a series of conversations with the Dean. I'm here with two of our wonderful students, Jean Su and Theresa Bichsel, to talk about the program that they've created with regard to Environmental Law Society and a symposium that they're putting on. Maybe the easiest place to start is tell me a little bit about the Environmental Law Society that you've created.
Sure. Well, we started the Environmental Law Society last year. It's one of several student groups. And we are not the sole founders. There are a few other students who are very passionate about environmental law as well. Last year, we just thought that it was an important organization to have at UCI, and we wanted to bring people with a similar interest together and find out what kinds of issues we wanted to tackle in Orange County and beyond.
Jean, one of the things that you're doing is putting on a symposium this year. Do you want to talk a little bit about the symposium and its focus and who will be coming?
Sure. Well, this is something we're very excited about. We teamed up with a political science PhD student as well under the CLSC grant to basically put together this conference. And all of us for months have been working really hard on it. But the heart of it is trying to look at the intersection of climate change law with human rights law. And so we all have kind of various backgrounds in environmental law. And one of the things we saw missing from the climate change discussion has really been the human angle in it. I mean, so much has been on the animal, just animal rights, the actual, environmental degradation, and so much regulation, negotiations, Kyoto. But what we recognized kind of very early on is that there are people every day right now who have experienced droughts, severe kind of crop devastation, etc. How are they going to get compensated, right? What are these victims going to do? And this is an area of law that hasn't been, very explored much within the legal community. So what we wanted to do is actually, with this conference, bring together kind of leaders in, the frontier about thinking about these things, and bring them into UCI, into our 21st Century Law School. And our audience is actually going to be a series of law students from around the area, as well as political scientists and policymakers, kind of our generation of people, to come together to really network and problem solve with these speakers and wonderful minds coming in. So it's less of a speak to you, but more of a very engaged conversation about this frontier issue that we need to tackle right now.
And Theresa, maybe you can say a little about the when is this, and who are some of the people who will be coming and participating?
Sure. This is happening on April 1st. It's a Friday. And we have several panels. And we feel as though the panels almost tell a story. So we're going to be focusing one panel on Indigenous rights, both local in the sense of in the United States and internationally. And then we have another panel on constitutional claims from here in the United States, India, and South Africa. And then we also have another panel on the litigation that's actually going on right now. And so with these three panels, we want to be able to bring the issue to people and then help them to see how they can engage in the issues themselves, particularly lawyers. So, yeah.
Sounds wonderful. Since I have the pleasure of talking with both of you now, maybe you could talk a little bit about your backgrounds, where you grew up, how you decided to go to law school, anything like that. Jean and then Theresa.
Okay. Kind of a winding road. I mean, one of the reasons why we're really excited about this climate change human part is that I used to work for a great NGO, Care International, out in Madagascar. And at that point, actually, a bunch of hurricanes had actually hit, and it was in 2005. So it was before people necessarily connected these issues with climate change. So that's why I first became interested in climate change, because of this devastation. And then later I went to China and worked on climate change from a business angle. And so I came to law school because so much of climate change is driven by policy and law, and that's something from the business angle that you couldn't really get. And from a grassroots level on the ground, you definitely can't get. So that's why I came to law school, to figure that out.
My story is actually somewhat similar. I grew up in the East Bay of California, San Francisco Bay Area, and I studied environmental law at I studied environmental science at Santa Clara University. So while there, I got really focused in agricultural issues, particularly with migrant workers in California. And I decided to go work on organic farms. I ended up going to New Zealand, and it was a great experience. I loved, being outside and all those things, but also there were a lot of issues that farmers brought to my attention there, different trends that were going on, CAFOs, irrigation. So policy always came back into the forefront. And after that I went to Idaho, where I worked for an advocacy group for the environment and the Idaho Conservation League. They are an excellent group, and I loved my time there so much. Worked with a couple lawyers, and I knew that I wanted to pursue this path.
That's great. One last question. This video is like, what's been your experience here? What would you tell prospective students if they're thinking about whether to come here compared to other law schools? And you can say anything you want. There's no censorship about anything you say.
Well, I'll just say I don't know about other law schools, but here, if you were interested in environmental law, for instance, we have had such an amazing experience with the faculty. Every idea that we've had, we've gone to various people within the school and told them, hey, we're thinking about this, and all we've had is support, encouragement, trying to figure out how we can make things work. It feels as though any idea is going to be tried to push forward. Not to say that any idea is a great idea, but I felt like there's just been a good direction given to us by the faculty. And as far as students go, I am truly honored to be with this group of students. I love my class. We get along so well, and it's an amazing group of people.
Yeah, those are the 2 points I'd also make. I think with our student population, everybody is impassioned about something in this class, and that's really exceptional. And kind of these issues that we're dealing with, even though somebody else's interest might be in immigration, they're ready to listen, to understand, to engage, and that's something that we don't get at other law schools, I think. And the faculty have just been breathtaking. Everyone from you to others specializing in different areas. We've done a very interdisciplinary kind of analysis of this whole issue, and everybody's been so willing to kind of frame it with us and to discuss it. And the closeness we feel within this community is remarkable. It's full support, collaboration, and just impassioned people coming together. So.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for doing this. It's really a pleasure, I think, for the students who might be considering the law school and others to get the chance to hear from Jean Su and Theresa Bichsel.